So what is emotional intelligence? How does it help an individual in taking ethical decisions? How our emotions will work against? Like even, let's say, Pooja Khedkar case, Pooja Singhal case that you can give. Anger is a harmful negative emotion. So what is emotional intelligence? This, it is definition. Then how can it be developed in people? That also you can write. That is how general wala is separate, public service is separate. So when you are asked like this, you should write in general wala that we told. But in this case, we have told about public service because both are two different things, right? Emotional intelligence application in general, emotional intelligence application in civil services. Yes. Then, how does it help an individual in taking ethical decisions?
Makes a more rational.
Yes. Since emotional intelligence brings regulation in emotions, therefore any person in any situation, the person can understand about situation better, can have sensitivity, empathy, you can say. This person develops sense of responsibility, person develops, let's say, sense of right and wrong. And these things help in behaving in ethical way. Conversely, let's say that the ethical way behaving demands better understanding of situation, knowledge about right and wrong, and owning responsibility about any such conduct, and a sense of moral responsibility. Yes. And these things can be imbibed by emotional intelligence. That's why emotional intelligence is one of the four virtues of what Aristotle talks in his virtue ethics as temperance. Right? So that way we can relate. So that is how about this. Now, then direct question, that one I will deal separately. How will you apply emotional intelligence in administrative practices? Direct question. Now there can be different types of administrative practices. As we have told that three, let's say. General practice is that in general, administrators face challenging situations. They are expected to have above average emotional intelligence. Their situations are challenging. Next is that they have to work under stress, strain. You can give example, Ayush, this and that, protest is going on in that situation. But they have to work under stress. Right. Then let's say they have to adhere not only to law but also to ethical conduct. They have to be accountable, they have to have integrity. You can, let's say, divide it. This. Our administrative practices, you can link with that. When they have to have law enforcement, they have to implement policy, solve problems of society. So that way also, it depends how you relate. And you can link with those the examples that we have taken. So, and then you can also talk how government has also tried to incorporate through training practices, work culture, that example we have given. It is just a very straightforward question. The only challenge will be that, although we have been teaching since the beginning, but people will not know that way. Many people do not know how emotional intelligence is applied in administration. That time, now people know. Because now questions are known, accordingly literatures are available. The people can know in that way. So that is a straightforward question. Then let's say that the next 20, then we'll take this one. What are the main components of emotional intelligence? A straightforward question. The 4 components. And then can they be learned? Yes, they can be learned. You can tell that how marshmallow experiment, and they can be learned. That's why training programs are there. Right? Because emotional intelligence is largely learned through socialization and experience. Like say experienced person has better emotional intelligence. Young persons, they have less emotional, let's say, intelligence. It shows that you learn it, you improve it. This, it can be learned. You have to see this. You have to discuss it. But you can say a bit limitations also. There can be limitation in learning also, because learn, unlearn, and relearn. It takes time. So all people may not improve their emotional intelligence. This also you should know. That's why some people, even at, let's say, old age also, or let's say in 50s and 60s also, they can be reactionary type. Right. They can be reactionary type, let's say that. That we can consider. Our culture is specific, you can consider this, it can be. So that way it can be answered like, do you agree with the view? Yes, largely yes, it can be said. Because emotional intelligence is largely acquired, it is intelligent quotient which is inborn. This, that we can consider, right? Next. Sorry, I was talking this. Can they be learned? Discuss like this. Then let's say emotional intelligence is the ability to make your own emotions work for you instead of against you. ये थोड़ा सा challenging situation question है, right? So let's take simple question. Then I will answer it. I will answer it. This.
We can quote Oscar Wilde for that question. Like it is similar to the quote that we have given.
Yes. Yes, that we can consider. So emotional intelligence is the ability to make your emotions work for you instead of against you. Let's answer this. So first you should write emotional intelligence. What is a definition you should start. A definition, then 4 components, then come to the question. Yes, that key emotional intelligence. So you can refer Oscar Wilde statement. Tell that key emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence helps us in, let's say, making our emotions working in our favor rather against. How our emotions will work against?
Making us irrational.
Yes. So when we become irrational, when we become reactive, when we are emotional, so then let's say that later when emotions come down, so we regret it. Right? Like say emotions of Ayush Sinha during that time, whether it has worked in his favor or against him. Shailesh Yadav, Tripura DM, whether it has worked in his favor or against him. This, the emotions, if we do not regulate, do not control, so we can behave in something undesirable way. That time we may not realize, but later we realize it. And then we regret it. Yes. And many a time it happens that eruptions of emotions, let's say it has happened, and then thereafter, let's say something you have done. That's why what Voltaire says, take important decisions when you are in a good mood. This, it means we should take decisions when we are in a balanced, let's say that state, in temperance that we have. It means if anything happens in our life and we feel angry, we feel infuriated, so that time if we have to take any decision, we should avoid taking decisions. This is how it is taught. Many a time, let's say कि कोई भी आप देखते हैं ना कि जब 2 लोग आपस में फाइट करते हैं, गुस्से में होते हैं, तो बाकी लोग क्या बोलते हैं उसको, जाओ घर जाओ. This, राइट, नहीं मैं इसको ये करूंगा. फिर तो लोग बोलते हैं जब थोड़ा ठंडे दिमाग से सोच के आना. Sorry to say, right? So they say that cool down, right? So when you are in a proper, let's say that mood, then you come. This, so that is how you can say it. So that way you can link with this, right?
So Buddha को भी quote कर सकते हैं सब ये senses control करने वाले जो का philosophy.
Yes, Buddha you can talk. Even Aristotle talks about 5 senses. Controlling them results into 6th sense. This, so that way also we can relate it. Right? So these are simple questions largely, not that difficult. Although there are also a bit difficult questions, we'll take it. But this is 2023, 24, it's a 23 question. They have asked, which we were expecting one day, that they will ask relationship between emotional quotient and intelligent quotient. That question was asked in 2023. Yes. What to say? What really matters for success, character, happiness, and lifelong achievement is a definite set of emotional skills. Your EQ, not just purely cognitive abilities that are measured by conventional IQ tests. Right? This. Do you agree with the view? Give reasons in support of your answer. Yes. So you can tell what we have told, that while teaching the comparison between emotional intelligence and intelligent quotient, we have told how there was a transition, shift, how the study is conducted on leaders, managers, salespersons, organization, and how they have proved that how success at work 80% depends on emotional intelligence, 20% depend on intelligent quotient. This. So that factor you can say that you should agree also, yes, it is, because at work you can give some situations of work. There's some situations you can talk, and those situations you can highlight, let's say, when we talk. So what really matters? So this success, character, happiness, all these things, those emotional skill. Then you can talk those emotional skill, the 4 components of emotional skill. Right, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, social management. This, and then these are the 4 different types of skill that we need. Your self-awareness can give you self-confidence, so self-management can give you responsibility, and social awareness can give you empathy, compassion, tolerance, and social management can give you leadership and management of the situation. And these things are important to manage any workplace, because at workplace you can face lots of stress, challenge, competition, rivalries, politics, lots of things. How we manage it, you can write about, let's say. Then you can give some examples, like how leaders, let's say that. The leaders can have better emotional intelligence, be it Ratan Tata, APJ Abdul Kalam, or let's say Narayan Murthy, you can consider that they will be considered to have better emotional intelligence. Yes, they can manage their situations better. But there can be other leaders, let's say that, Ramalinga Raju, let's say that, this Uber founder that we gave. Plus in corporate governance, when we'll teach you, they will give you some other examples, तो आप वहाँ से भी collect कर सकते हो. So there you can show that how people, because of their lack of emotional intelligence, they may be intelligent. They may be intelligent, but they may not necessarily be emotionally intelligent. Like even, let's say, Pooja Khedkar case, Pooja Singhal case that you can give. You can show they are intelligent because they have qualified a service, let's say, that test merit. But then once they are in service, thereafter you know that they have not faced their situations, managed their situations. This. So that way we can consider, so we can count, and that is what you can relate. However, towards end also you should tell that intelligent quotient is also important. This. In fact, intelligent quotient can be considered as a base for emotional intelligence, let's say this. We can draw like this. Why? Because it has wider application. Emotional quotient has wider application. Intelligent quotient has narrower application. Because everywhere intelligence is not needed, rather emotional management is needed. This. Right? So largely, let's say, before we take difficult questions, Act 1 and 2, largely emotional intelligence related questions are not challenging once you know all these things. This. So you will be able to attempt it with satisfaction or better quality, better content. This. Since crisis of conscience we have not taught you, so we will not take this question. When we'll take crisis of conscience, we'll bring back this question. That this. That way it becomes a bit difficult question. Why? Because they are combining two concepts. Crisis of conscience, it is itself a crisis-like situation, and then emotional intelligence. Right? This is how. So UPSC has asked 3 times the term crisis of conscience. It seems they have themselves also crisis. So 3 times, not once, 3 times crisis of conscience they have used. This, it shows also that there are similar pattern of questions. You should know that we have similar pattern of question. We have to understand. That's why ethics paper over a period of time. Once you gather knowledge, once you know the paper trained, the similar pattern of question, you master on those similar pattern by your writing skill, means writing answer, PYQs practice that we say, then prepare again short notes after that practice, then it makes you this paper, right, much more, let's say, comfortable than the first 3 papers. Yes. Then so that is a bit difficult. Then this is a question which is indirect question, right? It is related to emotions, that anger is a harmful negative emotion. Yes. It is injurious to both personal life and work life. Yes. They have themselves explained. Right. As we say, UPSC has habit of explaining to you. The question they explain to you. Right. Then they ask question. The question is, discuss how it leads, right, to negative emotion and undesirable behaviors. This. And second, how can it be managed and controlled? Yes. How can it be managed and controlled? Emotional intelligence. Directly they have not asked. Right. Now you have to yourself relate. Right. What is, let's say, this, the first part. The anger is a harmful negative emotion. They have themselves told it. आपको help कर दिया उन्होंने. Right. अब कई बार you can take the sentences that they use in their question as part of your answers and understanding. Right. This, मान लो next time कभी anger पे question आता है और वो कुछ और पूछते हैं, तो आप पता है कि anger is a harmful negative emotion. It is a definition also. Right. This, that is how we apply like this. Now, how anger leads to negative emotions and undesirable behavior. Can you explain the process? Can we explain the process? How anger results, right, leads to negative emotions and undesirable behavior?
It leads to jealousy and over-competitiveness, which further leads to malpractices.
When we are angry, we lose our ability to differentiate between right and wrong.
Yes, that should be the theme line. So when basically we are angry, when there is anger, since it is a negative human emotion, it clouds our thinking. This, it clouds our rational thinking. This, rather our thinking becomes more irrational or less rational. Our thinking becomes more emotional. So we lose control on our, let's say that, decisions. Decisions are not controlled by us. Decisions are driven by that negative emotions. The negative emotions will force us to take negative decisions. This, that way. And that is how, let's say, negative, undesirable behavior. It may result into undesirable behavior. What? We may use abusive language. We may be very harsh. Even we may slap. We can become physical. That can happen. We can become rude. The rude behavior can be. Generally, this is how we become rude. That can be, let's say. And even it may result into, let's say, physical action, means we may have fight others. We can give example how 2 people fight for parking space, and then in fighting one person is beaten to death also. For just parking. Now the person can in normal times can think why I let's say they beat that person to death just for parking. Yes, that has also happened. That is how you have to talk. This is nothing but one question. Either emotions can work in favor of you or against you. Right. The similar question in a different way. Right. Again, you can use those quotations, examples, and then how emotional intelligence can help in overcoming. The emotional intelligence can help in regulating emotions. You can define emotional intelligence deals with knowing, understanding one's own emotion and others' emotion and then behaving in a regulated manner. If emotional intelligence is developed in a person, that person may not allow that the negative emotion overpower him. This negative emotions overpower him. This a person who has emotional intelligence, he controls his own behavior. Yes. He controls his own behavior. He does not let his own emotions guide, rather he guides in a regulated fashion. And that is how the persons can control this. And this way you can relate. Right? Then you can write quotations. Happiness depends on ourselves. Our Oscar Wilde statement, that also we can say this way. And that is how you can end like. Or you can talk, that's why emotional intelligence is considered important. And this is how it has been even incorporated in public services. This. So what you are writing, see, some of the references, some of the examples will repeat. Right. Only difference will be that you are writing as per different nature of the question. The tools and techniques in the answer that you are using, that will remain almost similar, let's say that. You will refer here and there. Yes, that is what it is about answer writing. Right? And you can see it is regularly they ask question. A question means 23 they have not asked, means 24 they have not asked emotional intelligence. To 25 they will ask. Yes. That can be, let's say, obvious that they will ask a question on emotional intelligence.